The hack and slash, a genre of game that boasts intense gameplay. We see it defined by Devil May Cry and Bayonetta, but the genre goes further back than that. Today, we'll explore the evolution of the hack and slash genre. So, what is a hack and slash? The hack and slash is a video game genre under the umbrella of the action and beat 'em up. While the beat 'em up focuses on hand-to-hand combat, the hack and slash focuses on, you guessed it, hacking and slashing. Swords and melee weapons are involved. Sometimes ranged weapons get mixed in, but they aren't the focus, they only supplement the gameplay. The hack and slash can also have puzzle-solving elements and a story-driven plot. RPGs can feature hack and slash gameplay as well. The hack and slash can be 2D, 3D, isometric, side-scrolling, first-person, or third-person. Where did this all start? Well, the hack and slash actually has roots in pen and paper. That's right, we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons. The term would be used to describe the intense type of campaign the participants would be playing. The campaign will have no other plot elements or goal, just killing. Only later did it become one with video game culture. So, forget pen and paper. What was the first hack and slash video game? Some say it's Prince of Persia. While Prince of Persia came out October 3rd, 1989, and that's pretty early, it wasn't first. It took some digging, but I did end up finding another game, an older game. Masanobu Endo, after releasing the critically acclaimed Xavius, would take a business trip to America. There he would buy a copy of Dungeons and Dragons. The book would have a huge impact on him. With that inspiration, plus being a fan of wizardry on the Apple II, he would create the first game to have elements of a hack and slash. It would be known as the Fantasy Pac-Man. The Tower of Duraga was released in June 1984. The game would be an action role-playing maze video game. You would play as Gilgamesh, and you would have to go through 60 floors of the tower to save the maiden key from Duraga. You would need a key to progress through each floor. While people in North America disliked the game for having bad controls and difficult design, people in Japan loved this game. Duraga would inspire games like the Ys series, Hydlide, Dragon Slayer, and The Legend of Zelda. This game would be the earliest adopters of the hack and slash gameplay for RPGs. But while the hack and slash genre was starting in the RPGs, things will look a little bit different for beat 'em ups. A man by the name of Makoto Uchida loved watching action movies, especially the Conan films, and wanted to create a game based on them. Uchida and a small team of developers would spend a year making this game. Because at the time Double Dragon was popular, they had the idea of making Double Dragon that wasn't Double Dragon. Studying the world of swords and magic, Uchida and his team would produce Golden Axe. Golden Axe was released May 1989 in the arcade. Golden Axe boasted multiple characters to play with, such as the battle axe wielding dwarf, Gilius Thunderhead, a broadsword wielding barbarian, Axe Battler, and a longsword wielding Amazonian, Tiras Flare. Unlike Tower of Duraga, Golden Axe was actually a hit in Japan and the US. In Japan, Golden Axe would be the second most successful arcade unit of the year. The version from the UK would also hit number 2. Golden Axe would have features similar to a normal beat 'em up, but they would have a focus on weapons. This would be the game to popularize the hack and slash genre. Other early 2D hack and slash games of the time would include King of Dragons, Knights of the Round, and Guardian Heroes. It was also around this time we would get a game that would incorporate 3D, Getsu Fuma Den, released July 7, 1987, 2 years before Golden Axe. The game would feature 3D when the character would enter a dungeon. It would switch to a pseudo 3D perspective, which follows Fuma from behind. This game would be the precursor to hack and slashes implementing 3D to its game. And other games with hack and slash elements with 3D would be Cross Swords, Bushido Blade, and even The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. But while these games were becoming their own from the beat-em-up genre, a game would carve its own path in the budding world of hack and slash. While developing a game called Justice League Task Force, a man by the name of David Brevik would think of a concept for a game with roguelike elements that had turn-based combat influenced by Rogue and NetHack. But he wanted the player to play the game faster than a typical RPG would at the time. As this game was being developed, it would go under its biggest change, going from turn-based to real-time combat due to a vote. Brevik and 2 other people would vote to keep it the way it was, turn-based, but everyone else voted for real-time combat. And this change would be the most remarkable thing to happen in its development. My character walked over and swung and smacked a skeleton apart, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. That felt so good. This was way better, and it was obvious that this was the way to go, and we never looked back, Brevik would say. And on January 3rd, 1997, Diablo was born.
Not enough mana.
Diablo was renowned for its replay value, with randomly generated dungeons, plus having multiple classes to play. Gameplay would be different from the hack and slashes that I spoke of, not only because of the point of view, but because of the way it's played. You would interact with objects and attack with the mouse, and use items and spells with the keyboard. Diablo would also feature online multiplayer. While this game wasn't the first of its kind with this type of gameplay that go to Dragon Slayer, it popularized it. Ancient Evil would soon follow in its footsteps, coming out a year later, 1998. Ancient Evil would have similar type of gameplay as Diablo. And then we hit the 2000s, where the hack and slash genre really took its stride. During this time, we would get a sequel to Diablo, Diablo 2, released June 29th, 2000. Diablo 2 was praised for more of the same qualities that it had from the first game, but they were vastly improved. And with the success of Diablo 2, even more games like Diablo would show up. Divine Divinity, its sequel Beyond Divinity, Blade and Sword, and many more. But 2 months later, we would see a new type of hack and slash. Dynasty Warriors 2 was developed by Omega Force and published by Koei. The game was released August 3rd of 2000. Dynasty Warriors 2 was supposed to be a fighting game, just like the first one, but the producer, Akihiro Suzuki, was told simply to do something different. And so he did. The game offered large-scale battles on large battlefields, showing off many characters on screen. Dynasty Warriors 2's gameplay was considered enjoyable to play and technically impressive, but critics would often say the gameplay can get repetitive, and sometimes it was overly simplistic. However, the game would gain enough success that it would have a name for the type of gameplay that it would have: Musu. Musu in Japanese means unrivaled, While the main line of games only went up to 9, the Musou type of hack and slash would span into different types of games and anime franchises, such as Dynasty Warriors Gundam, Fist of the North Star, Ken's Rage, Hyrule Warriors, and Persona 5 Strikers, and many more. But it wouldn't be until next year we would get a game to set the new standard for the hack and slash genre. A team of developers called Team Little Devil, led by Hideki Kamiya, would be tasked with working on an entry to the Resident Evil franchise, Resident Evil 4. They would travel to Spain to look at different castles for the game's environments, and they would keep one word in their minds as a theme: coolness. However, the theme would stray too far from the Resident Evil franchise, so Hideki Kamiya would decide to make it independent from the series. Kamiya would then incorporate a poem, Divine Comedy, by Dante Alighieri, to this new world, adding demons and changing the hero's name to Dante. On that note, I'm sure you know where I'm going with this.
Are you really the son of the legendary Dark Knight Sparta? Didn't your daddy teach you how to use a sword?
Sword. Haha. Time to go to work, guys. Even as a child, I had powers. There's demonic blood in me.
What strength?
Devil May Cry was created and published by Capcom, and came out August 23rd, 2001. Devil May Cry was known for its intense, free-flowing, combo-centric combat, and Dante himself. The game would introduce the stylish ranks and stylish rank gauge, encouraging players to attack and evade damage. The gameplay of Devil May Cry doesn't have quite a fancy nickname, but this game alone has set the standard for hack and slash games that would come after it, such as the current iterations of Ninja Gaiden, God of War, Bayonetta, and many games from AAA to indie titles. But in the late 2000s, there would be another game that would be revolutionary in its own right. It would revive a lost breed of action game.
System engaged.
This would start from a developer known for its mech series, Armored Core, and a small series called Kingsfield. The developer would get a man on the helm that would only be known for coding the Armored Core series, Hidetaka Miyazaki. Despite Miyazaki being excited about this project being a fantasy action RPG, this game ran into difficulties being made. Not even a captivating prototype could be finished, although Miyazaki wouldn't care. If he could take control of this project, he could make this into gold. And if it was only fool's gold, no one would care. Miyazaki would take inspiration from Kingsfield, taking its dark tone and difficulty. He made this game something you couldn't understand how to approach so easily, like you could a Musou title. And when a demo was finally created, that demo would only be completed by a handful of people. So from that point, it would come down to a decision. Make it more accessible or take the creative path. They chose the latter. Demon's Souls would first be released February 5th, 2009 in Japan, and October 6th, 2009 in the US, and the game would be developed by From Software. As described, the game would be known for its punishing difficulty. The gameplay would be different than other hack and slash games or action RPGs. It wouldn't be fast paced at all. It would slow everything down. Players wouldn't be able to hack and slash willy-nilly, as they would have a stamina bar. The player would have to think before approaching. They would have to time each attack while managing their stamina bar. When dying, the game would send you back to the start of the level, respawning non-boss monsters, and temporarily you would lose unused experience points or souls, and max health would be lowered. You could get your souls back if you go where you died, but if you died beforehand, that's it. Demon Souls would sell 37,000 copies its first week, but it would catch on like wildfire by word of mouth. Its follow-up games, Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, and Bloodborne, would create its own genre within a niche, the Souls-like. The Souls-like would take the difficulty, the stamina management and methodical gameplay, character progression, and sometimes even having a similar art direction, having its dark themes from the Souls games. These games would include Salt and Sanctuary, Neo, Code Vein, Vigil, The Longest Night, and many more. The hack and slash genre has a history that not too many people know about. While it's mainly a subgenre of the beat 'em up, it can also be found in action RPGs too. Games with a hack and slash style are everywhere, so keep a lookout. Thanks for watching this video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. It would mean a lot if you did. And if you want updates on what I'm going to do next, please follow me on Twitter.